How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Right, first things first, I'm gonna get down to business here. I'm sure people who watch my videos would be aware of a fellow Irish moto vlogger by the name of Lucky Luke Rides. Well, Lucky Luke's name has become a bit of a misnomer in the recent past, as the kid has had the worst run of luck I think I've ever heard of anyone having in their life. On top of the fact that in the past couple of years, both his parents and his sister have all passed away under tragic circumstances, you also have the fact that just after burying his mother, the guy's house was robbed and a sum of €3,000 that he had been saving for a new bike was taken out of his bedroom. Now, there is a GoFundMe set up to help him out. If anyone deserves a little bit of a helping hand from the moto vlogging community, this guy is definitely that guy. So if you at all have the means to possibly help the dude out, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I have included a link to the GoFundMe in the description, and I have also included a link to the video where he explains his situation. It is very much a worthy cause.
Oh, and Luke, mate, if this GoFundMe thing comes through for you, which by all accounts it is doing, keep the money in the bank, yeah? None of this west of Ireland, I don't trust the banks bullshit.
Now, to see if I remember where that petrol station is.
A few moments later.
You're not eluding me this time, petrol station. 98, yes. $181.9 a litre for premium. Jesus almighty, that is mad expensive. If I ever hear of an American complaining about the price of fuel again, I'm going to slap them. And 181.9 is actually considerably cheaper than it is in much of Europe. So count your blessings, Yanks. Just 10 on the bike outside, thank you. We'll take an old spin through Queenscliff, because I do have something interesting that I can show you actually, which is just across the bay from Queenscliff. If you are into interesting trivia about war, this will be of interest to you definitely. Nice little town, Queenscliff. Also a very expensive little town. Lots of wealthy tourists come down here from Melbourne. So yeah, it's probably a little bit above my price range. Ocean Lookout, that's where we're going. And I go right at the roundabout, yes. Alright. Yes, this is exactly where I need to be. Okay, I have something really cool to show you up at the end of this. I'll just turn off the camera now because I'll have to take it out of super view. Okay, due to the angle I have my GoPro at, I have to hold my head up at a ridiculous angle in order to get this shot in. But anyway, we'll take a walk down this little pier thingy. And across the water there is a place called Point Nepean. Whoa, steps. And Point Nepean has a very interesting little historical fact associated with it. Believe it or not, the very first shots of World War I were fired from there. there is a military fort which is obviously now disused at the very tip of it. And I'd love to be able to go over there, but given that I'm currently jobless, I'm afraid I do not have the luxury of being able to pay $60 for a return ferry trip. Anyway, when World War I was declared in 1914, I think it was 1914, Jesus Christ, I'm failing primary school history here. Anyway, obviously Australia, which was a member of the British Commonwealth and still is, was obligated to go to war on behalf of Britain. And all the way up there is Melbourne. And in Melbourne's port was a German merchant navy ship. And when the war was declared, the merchant navy ship basically hightailed it out of Melbourne and was attempting to make it out to the Bass Strait, which is there, as quickly as is humanly possible. Unfortunately, it didn't make it past the fort, which just aimed the big massive guns that are stationed there at the merchant navy ship and blew it out of the water. That was the very first shots fired in World War I. Bet you didn't know that one, did yous? God damn it, I just remembered that I set the frame rate on my GoPro to 30 frames per second ages ago when I was in Las Vegas and doing some filming at night. So apologies in advance for this not being 60 frames per second. The stretch of water that's just out there past the end of Point Nepean, which I filmed, is the Bass Strait. And to say that the Bass Strait is fairly notorious for having some fairly rough waters is putting it mildly. There is more shipwrecks out there than any other stretch of water on the face of the earth. So yeah, if you're ever sailing around Australia, just be careful when you're going between Victoria and Tasmania. Gets a little mad out there. I have no idea where I'm supposed to go here. Oh yeah, I'll go this way. This is the town centre of Queenscliff. Lovely little place. Very quiet at this time of year. It's just a week off of the official beginning of winter here in Australia. Still about 16 degrees today, and this is the coldest bit of mainland Australia. So that's nice. I do have my winter gear on me though, because after almost a decade of living in this country, I have turned into a complete puss when it comes to the cold. Totally fucking lost here. I have to go around the roundabout. Oh yeah, that's some good low speed control right there. Look at me, biking like a mad bastard. Look at that for a camper van. That thing's mad. It's basically a truck with a caravan welded onto the back of it. That's what you need in Australia. Oh yeah, this is where we're going. Right. Time to go back home, I think. As anyone who, I suppose, regularly watches my videos will know, about a month or so ago when I was in Austin, Texas, I rented a Harley Davidson and promptly crashed it. Well, crash is a bit of an overstatement, but it was raining and I did end up dropping it and sliding off at about 5 or 10 miles an hour. Was completely uninjured, damage to the bike was minimal and all that, which is cool. At the same time, it's a bit strange that how even a relatively minor little incident such as that will just have such an effect on your confidence on a motorcycle. Every time I go around the corner now, or if there's even the slightest bit of moisture in the air, I'm just getting really paranoid that I'm going to drop it again. And I don't know if it's just made me overly cautious or what have you, or if it's affected my confidence in a negative kind of way. I'm sure the more I ride my bike and the further I ride it without having any major incidents, the better I'll get. But It's interesting how one little screw up can just mess with your head like that, isn't it? So we're coming up to some bends here, and I'm just being super cautious through them at the moment. Beforehand in Alice Springs, where I guess I knew the roads a lot better and where the riding conditions were pretty much perfect always, I just fly through them knowing that the bike would grip, all that sort of stuff. And one little minor spill in Texas, and yeah, and my testicles seem to have up and left me. Got a slow moving car coming up here, so that's probably going to end my fun pretty quickly, but hey, we should at least have one decent corner here. Jesus, he's mashing on the brakes to go around it. I was about to complain about effing Toyota drivers until I remembered that I myself am a Toyota driver. But I tend to be the exception as opposed to the rule. Yeah, that was good. It wasn't actually an old Corolla, which I thought it was from the distance. It is, weirdly, an old Seat, which you don't see many of them in Australia. I think they launched here briefly in the late 90s and sold about 11 cars and promptly up sticks and went back to Europe. So, yeah. Goodbye, Mr. Seat. We'll see you later. Anyway, folks, I am going to end this video here. Jesus, there was a rut in the middle of the road there that my front wheel just went into. Anyway, moving swiftly on, I am going to end this video here. If you enjoyed this video, please like. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe. I have got a fair amount of new subscribers in the last couple of days, so thank you very much for hitting the old subscribe button. I do really appreciate it. So yeah, ooh, old Falcon Ute, that's nice. So yeah, I'll talk to you later, boys. Good luck.